Right, good morning. This is the start of a fairly big planting day, so we're going to plant some trees and some plants in one of the orchards. I'll flip you around and check it out. We're just getting things ready at the moment, so I'm going to put some compost in a big bucket to heal some trees in, but we're going to be filling up the car and then getting loads of stuff onto site. So this is part of the Fruit and Nutvillage charity, by the way, and all these trees came from the National Trust. So we're planting some today and then healing them in, where you just put these bare roots into compost, keep them wet and covered, and then we'll plant them on different sites in the coming weeks. We've picked out 3 trees for this site today. There's a plum cot and a cherry cot, so they're a cross between a plum and an apricot and a cherry and an apricot. So we're thinking these are going to be more resistant to climate change and more adaptable. It's a hybrid species. And then we've got a gauge, a Cambridge gauge, so which is a type of plum. So we've got 3 trees ready to roll, interesting varieties, and we'll plant them when we get onto site. I didn't listen to much about what I said, obviously the work from the original one I was talking about, West Midlands one. I just think it's too difficult. Okay, so we've filled this tub up with a couple of cans of water, rainwater, and now just getting them healed in with some compost so they'll survive for the next few weeks until they're put in the ground. But it's these trees that we're using today, so we'll put them in water so they're soaking away, so they go in the ground nice and wet. Alright, so we're just going to head off with some of the gear. I'll show you what we've put in the car, but we're going to be planting 6 trees today. Have a look. So we're just getting the last of the trees in, and we've got some stakes, some metal cages to put around the trees, and there's 3 trees already in the back, so we need to get a move on now. So we've just unloaded all the cars and just taking the stuff up to the site. We've got wheelbarrows and just setting it up for when the volunteers arrive.
You won't be able to film me wheeling it off, I don't want to get stuck in the mud.
You what?
I'll get stuck in the mud now.
It looks heavy.
The boggy.
Okay, so this is the orchard. It was planted about 3 or 4 years ago, and there's a mix, well there's a fig tree there I can see, and there's a mix of all sorts including nuts. So there's a walnut tree at the back, and this is just where we've been putting the gear down, setting up for when the volunteers come. So all sorts of different fruit trees. The 2 nut trees at the back that will grow really big, and then much smaller trees in front of them.
Jeff, can you hold that there for me, please? Yeah. Look on the lights and on the feet.
just marking out where the trees are going to be, so 4 meters away in a
About there. Is that in a straight line? Do you want to swap the side you're on? Oh, skipping champion. Hello. Hello.
So the volunteers are starting to turn up. So should be a few people coming today to help with the planting. Okay, so we've marked out all the trees where they're going to go. Started digging a hole for the first one, so let's have a look. Oh, and the second one as well. So we cut out the grass from around the post and pull it up and then dig the hole. So get the grass turf out. Here we go. And then here are the other posts that we've put in.
Yep, making a hole underneath one of these stakes.
So
Nice deep hole. So I think here we'll end up with, I think maybe we'll, what should we do? Should we put the apples on the edge or alternate? We'll put the apples on the edge. And we'll have all the fruit on the tree.
okay, so first bit of turf out.
A big square hole around there.
I'll put you on the tripod. Okay, we've got everyone on a post digging a hole.
Alan, you're doing a big hole there.
Too big.
No, you need a big hole. You've got that big tub to go in there.
Oh, okay. Maybe a big
one.
The big top.
The big one
There, yeah.
Go and have a look at the
furthest away.
see how big they are. They're fairly big, but not massive.
Oh yeah, you don't need a very big hole at all for some of these. You will though, Alan.
So,
You imagine the hole in the that's not really very big. It's not all solid earth, but you could choose to shake a bit off or just plant the whole thing. Whole thing. Do you know where you want it really? Doing a bit of filming today, do you mind being in?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's cool. You're allowed to say no. Okay, so we need quite a big hole for this one because it's been in the pot a little while and got a good root ball and we want to keep all that. But some of the other stuff we need smaller holes, but it's good to get the dug out beneath them so that they've got really easy soil to grow into.
Right.
So
yeah, this isn't great soil. It's
no,
like rubble.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of stones in there at times. It's a bit luck of the draw really what you get.
What are you finding? I'm going to get the break.
Yeah, we've got a breaker bar. We've dealt with some bricks and things before. Here we go. This is Jeff on the breaker bar. He's hit a bit of rubble in there. Just loosening it up. Good to loosen that up and get it out so we've got easier soil for the tree to grow into.
Breaker bar, Alan.
It's over by Jeff.
Breaker bar's the only thing. The only thing that'll be a problem.
Okay, so plenty of activity digging the holes.
Want to do your own hole?
Yeah.
Go, Alan's on the breaker bar. So we're coming across quite a lot of rubble in these holes. What do you call that tool, Jeff? What's that tool, Rob?
Izada.
Azada. Show us the Azada, Jeff. So, like a pickaxe in a way, but with more of a spade attachment.
Think your hole's done? What? Think it's done? It's deeper, haven't it? You must, isn't it? What do you think it's about?
Yeah, that's all right there. It's so long, I can't remember.
Digging a hole? Yeah. It's bare rooted, that one.
Is it?
Yeah. We're going to put the plumb cut or the gauge in there. Or the, where's the other one?
Look at that. Got junk down there.
Okay, so looks like we're ready to plant our first tree. Jeff, what is that you've put down in the bottom of the hole?
That is this stuff, root growth. Special root growth.
Root growth. So it's called mycorrhiza. We call it mycorrhiza, and it's a fungus that will interact with the tree and the roots and help it marry into its new place nicely.
It's a gauge, by the way.
It's a gauge. Okay. The Cambridge gauge.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So that's a plum tree going in. So we'll see this buried. Jeff's just going to hold it in place, and then Helen is filling it in. So this is our first tree going in. So I'll just point out something. This is where it was grafted, so that needs to be quite a bit above the hole, above the ground,
Yeah, I'll give you a level.
because if it goes below, oh, that's a good idea. The graft is just sitting there. That's where the apple tree was grafted onto a rootstock, and if that's planted below the ground, then it won't do the tree any good.
You get underneath, yeah. See, it seems fairly solid.
So we're putting the grass face down, so the grass dies off,
I don't think it is. You were saying it's the tree.
and then we won't get the grass growing. So we can reduce the competition for the tree.
You know, not like the. There's some
I'm just pressing it in a bit, so we're getting rid of any big old air bubbles and making sure the earth is compacted, but obviously not too compacted.
But yeah, I've just sort of been interested in space. Always been a fascination. Maybe it started with Star Wars. I used to do lots of that. think that's what piqued my interest in, and the more I learned about
There we go, just putting the last of the soil on top now to cover the roots, which come up to about there. So always make sure the roots are fully covered. And there are several processes to planting a tree. We're probably about halfway through, maybe not even that, so stay tuned to see how we do it properly.
some level of privatisation in companies like SpaceX and and Rocket Labs as well, which is one that people don't really know about. A major player. And that produced a lot more interest. And they sort of proved that it could be a commercially viable thing, which then obviously means that there's more investors. But the UK for ages has made a lot of small satellites.
Okay, and so one of the important things to do is to keep the tree level vertically, so that's what Jeff's been doing. He's been holding it into place while it's being planted, especially if you've got quite a large amount of roots. It can be a bit difficult to reposition once it's firmly in.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
How deep should these be? Do you know?
So we're just asking how deep the hole should be. I think that'll be plenty fine for what we're...
Okay, so I'll just
Yeah,
try and get
well
this,
done.
this particular stone out and then...
Yeah, you can do it and just leave it. It's up to you.
Beautiful.
I think that might be
Tree number one.
a piece of slate or something.
do you think? Is it
Good hole.
maybe?
So that'll do.
Okay.
Do you want to pick your tree?
So this is the gauge. Things I've got to write these down when I get home.
You've got the choice between the cherrycot, which is a cross between a cherry and a apricot, or you've got the plumcot, which is the cross between the plum and the apricot. So we've got some climate change resilient.
Cherries.
You're going for the cherrycot? Okay. So these hybrids are climate resilient. They'll do much better as we get drier and hotter.
Right.
So that's why we've chosen them, these varieties.
Is that what you're expecting? Drier and hotter rather than wetter?
Oh, yeah, the extremes of everything, I think,
Right.
wetter as well.
Now what do we do here? Shall I just hold it in place there and we just fill in behind?
So the first part of planting a tree is to get the mycorrhiza. So you can drop the tree in the hole
Yeah.
and get the packet of mycorrhiza from Rob. So the mycorrhiza is a fungus that interacts with the... Oh, you've got it. It interacts with the tree's roots and the soil, and it just helps it to be a healthier tree, really.
Right.
Collect nutrients from around it a bit easier, blend in with its environment, be a part of its environment.
So how should I do this? Just pour it onto
Just sprinkle it all over the top of the roots, the soil. Really good mix. Rob, we're doing a whole packet of mycorrhiza per tree. Yeah, whole packet, whole lot.
just in one go?
Yeah,
Or
all
should
over.
we put more on and then put more on?
All over, yeah. Just right where the roots are. Perfect. Well done. And then fill it in. So we want the graft well above the soil line.
This
So
is the graft point.
yeah, so that's your marker. So maybe a little bit higher, because you want the roots quite well buried, but not too far. That's perfect. Okay, so the tree's going in, second tree. Oh, and there's another one going in up there as well. Have you done the mycorrhiza?
Yep.
Well done. That always gets forgotten.
Almost done.
Yeah, that's nice. Not pushing against.
Okay, so these two guys are planting this tree.
It's a little hard to get up with a shovel. You might get something more spade-like.
Yeah, you've got a spade there. Shovels are a bit easier, but these are all the stones that were pulled out of this particular hole. So we used the breaker bar to loosen them up a bit. And if it's easy enough to do, but don't worry if it isn't, if you come across any grass in there, you place it face down. Yeah.
Have you done this before?
You're an old pro, aren't you?
I suppose. I think that might be a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, you just push it toward the hole, can't you? Get it in there somehow.
Yeah, no, that seems to be good verticality.
Okay, we'll have a look at the other tree because it's in the hole.
Yeah,
Okay, how are we getting on here?
coming on well. Beautiful tree. Oh,
What's that tree?
it's got a disease on it maybe. It is a local variety without a name.
Okay,
Maybe we will name soon. If you got any suggestions, let us know. Let us know in the comment section below.
yeah, let us know the name of the tree. We've not named this tree, it's a local variety. Let us know in the comments if you want to give it a name.
Okay.
Okay,
Rude though.
so they're just putting the grass in first before they put in the soil.
Lovely. This is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, I know we had the same experience with the last one, just having to dig it out again.
So this one already had a load of soil by its roots. It was in a pot, but the other trees, they're bare rootstock. They're bare roots. So that's how they came. We soaked them in water and put them in wet soil.
Yeah, I mean, he lives in Dresden.
So a couple of different ways to keep trees and to buy them, to store them. Oh, we'll come back to these trees and see them when they're fully in the ground. They're almost there, almost there. We've got another one going in.
So that's the where it's grafted onto there, isn't it? Yeah. That bit, yeah. So it needs to be above the level of the hole.
Okay, we've got a team on the job. So this is, oh wow, there's a bit of metal in there that we've found. What does it look like?
It's a washing line. Maybe it's like a balloon.
There's all the rubble that's come out of this
Do you know
hole.
what it is? It's an apple catcher.
Apple catcher.
It's got the bag, that's the bag.
Oh, so there's a big apple tree up there.
It might not.
Hello. Hello boys. Family's just come along. How are you doing? Hello darling. Hello. Right. Have you brought anything with you for us?
Yes, cakes.
Oh, that sounds good. Some cakes in there. Well done.
Hello.
Okay, so the cavalry have come to do some helping. Oh, stay back, boys. Look at that. How strong is he?
Top actor in this.
That's hard work. Stand back a bit, boys. Well done.
Morning, happy New Year.
Yes, go back to Mama. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the fourth tree going in. We've got some mycorrhiza being put down there. And then putting the grass face down. A bit of a smaller tree, so these can be a bit trickier to plant. So there's not so much of it. But then why is that bit of, why is this coming out?
Who is there too?
That's probably just the root stock growing.
Just working out where the graft is on that tree.
Oh, it could be like something I've grafted twice, yeah. Yeah, it could be.
So that's getting put in the ground. The boys are getting on the job now. You dig that hole out. Well done. Well done.
Yeah!
You can do it. We just need a bit more earth out of that hole.
Okay.
Oh, it's done.
The next hole, Jeff.
Mama,
Oh, yeah.
Mama, me when another one. Where you going? No, one.
Okay, so we've got 2 trees that are finished now that we can have a look at. Very nicely done.
Over here.
Is that your first tree you've planted?
First ever tree.
How does that feel?
Yeah, satisfying. I look forward to seeing what happens to it, basically.
Great, yeah. You'll be able to see that grow over the
Yeah.
years.
Cycle by.
You've planted a tree before, haven't you?
I've done 1 or 2, yeah.
1 or 2. This is the one he's planted. So looking good. There you go, you can claim that one.
I do claim it.
So that's just like half the process so far. We've got cages to go on them to keep them secure, and then often we'll finish them off with some wood chip around the base as well. So we can show you the process of putting the cages on, bashing the stakes in the ground, and securing them with bike tyres normally. So we'll do that in a bit. So that tree is pretty much in the ground. That one, that one, and that one. What have you got? You got the litter pickers. Well done. What are you going to pick up with it?
But then there's a couple of trees further back.
Okay, so we've got 1 more tree to go in the ground here, and then another one will be going into the ground further up there in the back of the orchard, I think. So we'll come back to you when we start putting the cages on and getting the posts in the ground.
So, maybe
Okay.
the decision here might be that that's it.
Yeah,
It's worth having a bit of space around the bench as well.
we're just getting the last one in. Put the mycorrhiza in.
Right.
Put the sod in first.
Yeah, sod in first. Sod in sod.
Just towards me a bit, like that. So this is the plum cot. It's a cross between a plum and an apricot. And that's a tree that was given to us by the National Trust. So what's the story behind the National Trust trees?
They're running a project which is about making a ring of blossom around Birmingham.
A ring of blossom around Birmingham. Oh.
Along the number 11 bus route.
Let's have a look. Oh, good worm.
And these.
Oh, you found some as well. Good one. Well done.
Oh, let's make a home for them.
Where should we put them?
Here.
So the National Trust, before the rabble came in, they're running a project where they're building a ring of blossom around Birmingham, is it?
Around the 11 route, yeah.
Around the number 11 bus route. Okay, so they've given us some trees to put in because we've got
20 trees, only 3 today.
Okay,
First 3 going in.
so we've got 3 of the National Trust Blossom project going in here today. We've got 20 altogether, so some more are going in other sites.
Careful of the tree though, very careful of the tree. Don't want to whack it with it. Or something happens.
What do you do in that instance? Do you try and graft it back
Not
on?
much really. You have to scrape it really.
Okay, so this is the 5th tree.
Do that and you're less likely to try and just go only up to it.
So we've got 1 in there, 1 there. And then 1, 2, 3 in. The boys have found our rubble pile. This all came out of the holes. What are you making?
House for worms.
Oh, worm house.
Home. People there.
That's a good idea. Making a little worm house.
Here.
Oh, and where are the worms? In there. There's the worms.
Oh no. That's
Well done.
worms. Me. Me want to hold the worms. Let's find some more worms to put in. Only
See if there's any more in that hole that's being dug over there.
So this is where the last tree's going, the 6th tree. It's actually going away from the orchard behind us. And in between this big apple tree, it's a huge one. And I believe this will be the nut tree. Great.
Just that. Okay, the hole's too big.
Oh, it's fine. It's good to loosen it all up though, for the roots to go into.
Are you still looking for worms?
Yes.
Still collecting worms?
Yes.
Wow. They're under the ground. Shall I put some soil back in?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last nut tree going in.
It's tiny, isn't it? You said it was small.
I know, I've seen this so often before. I always like to get the trees by the holes, but so people can see what's going in. That's probably enough because it's still got quite a lot of vertical.
Oh, the
So-
mycorrhiza?
Mycorrhiza, go and get a packet.
Oh, sorry.
That's the thing that always gets forgotten. So is there a graft on that one? Shall we find out, or is it just a seedling that's been grown by seed? Let's go and ask Rob if there's a graft on there. If there is, I think we can identify it. Okay, mycorrhiza going in. There we go, we've got tons. We've got a whole packet to go in, all over the roots, in the soil.
Have you found some more worms?
I
So I
don't.
can't see any more worms now.
No, they're just having a little play in that white stuff.
No more worms here. You might have to dig your own hole now.
Shall I open it for you?
No.
No, you're just going to hold it.
Okay, well we call this thing a post driver, but it's a very, very heavy metal thing that goes over the top of the post. You bash it down. We're holding the tree out of the way and someone else is holding the post level. So it's definitely a 2-man job, if not a 3-person job. And you want it far enough in the ground so when you wobble it, it feels very solid. Each tree will have 2 posts and 2 cages. Yep.
Another one for me.
You want to find a worm?
Yes.
Um,
Ooh.
ooh,
Okay. Don't go in. Dada, your mum is going in the cereal. No, don't go.
don't let them escape.
Okay. Damn me.
Okay, so distributing the cages around the trees. And this will stop them from being vandalised, from being eaten by animals, from being accidentally damaged. It's well worth doing. I'll show you a finished one for what we're looking to achieve. So in here there's a bicycle tyre that's been cut up, holding the tree vertical and gently to stop it being swayed around by the wind, so it gives its roots a better chance. and then the cage is attached to each post by these big staples. And this one's done really neatly and nicely, and then you leave a gap underneath for weeding, being able to get there and in there and weed. So that's a really nice example. And another nice one here. So it looks quite nice, but it keeps the tree really safe. So we'll show you the others once we've done a few more. Oh. Here we go, they're getting in the second post now. There we go, that's easy. Hammering that into the post, holding it firm. Yeah, very nice. Is that done, that one? Brilliant. So the cage is on. Just putting another one in the middle. So we've got a staple at the top, middle, bottom. Nicely lined up. The holes where the two cages meet. And then the last job to finish this one off will be tying the bike tubes around the tree just to hold it vertical and steady in the wind. So okay, yeah, he's going to go for the bike tyres. This is a much more fiddly job.
Could do with some thinner ones.
Like a road bike.
Yeah, road bike. Yeah, mountain bike ones, I know.
You get the ridiculous ones now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fat ones.
So it's a bit fiddly. You've got to feed it through the cage and then round the tree and then back through the cage, but it's difficult getting your hands in there sometimes. So you can see it's just going to be pulled just tight enough to see that tree go up the middle. There's one going looped around there on that side, and then you put one on the opposite side a little further up to give it a bit of a counter to help keep it steady in the wind. But with such a thin sapling, it just needs a very gentle touch, that one. Yeah, just do a double knot if you like, and then can cut off the excess if we've got any scissors or secateurs. So there we go, put a little bit of tension on it but not a lot, and then we cut off the excess. There we go. Yeah, leave a little bit on. Perfect. So that is our first... Oh, show me the worm. Let's have a look. Wow. Well done. Where did you find that?
On the face.
Well done. So he's just trying to lift that up a bit. Very difficult getting your arm in there. Sometimes you can put your arm in over the top, but trying to get down that low would be difficult. So there we go. That's our first finished tree. Very securely in. And that'll stand a very good chance in life. So after all that, we've got one complete tree and the rest to go. So we've got two with posts now, and then another one where they're putting the posts on. I'm getting ready with the next one, and then we'll go on to the last one, the nut over there. So we'll keep you up to date. Alright, looks like we've got the elite cage team on. They've got the second one on. You can see the first one in the background there. And just getting the bike tyre on now. This is a much thicker tyre. branch. They can be cut down the middle if we need to. This is a much thicker tree, so it can take it. Very nicely lined up. See where it joins. So tying it at the bottom and then counterbalance it further up to get it going more in the middle. Oh my goodness, it's huge! Look at that one! Wow! Well done! Where did that come from?
From William.
William, okay. Right, so we've got 2 trees nearly finished, although to be truly finished they would have wood chip below them. So we're either getting a delivery while we work today, or some of us will go off in a car and get some. So not quite finished, but nearly there. Another 2 with the posts in, ready to be caged by the team, by the cage team, and then more posts being driven in here.
Seems a bit wider than this.
Those are the kind of jobs I'm volunteering for at this point. Right, so you were right at the bottom. Okay, stop a sec, because we need to get it straight first of all. It went in a very... It's not actually that bad, is it? How does it look from over there?
Looks good from this side.
Okay.
Yeah, I think your alignment's pretty good. Yeah, maybe a couple. No, that's perfect.
Okay, great. So that's the next set of posts done. So there's just one more set of posts to do up here for the nut tree. Oh, we've got a caged child here. Hello. Are you in a cage? You got your spade? Here we go. So last set of posts going in here for this nut tree. And you look at how vulnerable this little thing looks all on its own in the middle of the field. But as soon as you get a cage around it, it's a lot more protected. So this is really important to do.
Is that right?
Okay, so we'll come back when we've done a few more cages and show you some more results. Okay, so while all that work's still going on, I'm going over to this post in the far corner. I've just noticed there's a local artist. They got some funding, can't remember what for, but they put these posts around the town and in some of the orchards, and look at that, that's really, really nice. So a bit of art locally, and you can see more of these posts in some of the other orchards that we've planted. Cool. Oh, I'll have to, it's the first one I've seen actually. They were put in a while ago, so I'll have to go and see if I can find more. And it's right in the corner of the orchard, so that will have been done quite deliberately, I'd imagine, because that would be very prone to theft and vandalism. You can see it's actually just screwed in the top, so that section above could just be nicked if you've got a drill with you. So hopefully that'll stay there for a long time, and we'll see them in the other orchards as well. But a really nice local art project to do. So the whole community and different groups are involved in this orchard. There's really quite a lot going on. You've got a banana bar. Very nice. Well done. Okay, back to the planting. Okay, this is the last tree we've done. I had to actually replant it and move it because we couldn't get one of the posts in because it hit something big and rocky. So that one, this one, this one, this one, this one and this one. 6 trees planted. We've got a nut and we've got some other interesting fruit trees, some plums and some different things. Anyway, it's break time and I'm definitely hungry and up for a coffee. I didn't have any breakfast. Oh god, someone's bought some sandwiches.
We've got a white tea for you.
Oh, I'm so glad you bought sandwiches.
Sandwiches, coffee break.
Coffee, hot
Help
water.
yourself, tea and coffee.
And then once they leave,
Okay, coffee break time. Okay, so we've just been to another site and picked up some bags of wood chip. So we're going to put this around the base of the trees and that will finish them off. And in the meantime, the rest of the gang up there, I'll take you there. They're pruning and taking ones. They're pruning scions off the trees, and they're going to use that for grafting later in the year. I'll take you to have a look. Pruning this bit of wood sticking out.
What's the angle there? You're going to...
Okay, well it's looking good. What is it you're doing here?
Labelling up the scion wood.
Lovely.
He's labelling the scion wood so they know what it is and where it's from. So this is onward pear.
Bits off that go to the middle.
I'm sure that'll be fine. Okay, so it's the new growth that they use for grafting,
On some of the new growth.
and he's just processing what they cut off into piles, and he's got the labels to do it with. So that's another part of caring for an orchard, making sure you can reproduce them, the trees. Okay, and I've abandoned Jeff to do the wheelbarrowing on his own. So looks like we're going to do a bag per tree, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end. Here we go, Jeff's dumping this one out. There we go. So you want it as thick as you can get it, really, and then just push it in and under, and that will stop any weeds coming through. It will give it a bit of a feed. It will help to keep the ground moist, and just does the tree an awful lot of good. So we've done it, we've mulched them all. So this one over here, the new ones, this one as well, and that one, they've got loads of mulch. We've built it all up around them, and that will give an idea of the pile. That will go down to less than a centimetre thick, you know, within a few months it goes down to absolutely nothing, and then you can mulch it all over again every single year, and it won't build up too much. And that's the outlier, the nut tree. So it's been a great day, really productive, and it's always really nice to get trees in the ground, and to have so many volunteers turn up on such a wet day. Don't know if you saw it, but when we were having our break, it was really coming down, the rain, so, and a bit chilly as well. So really nice to see, and just a great thing to be a part of yet again. Okay, we're at the medlar tree. We're just finishing off the pruning, but apparently this is a medlar in perfect condition. It's been bled on the tree, and we're going to see what it tastes like. Go on.
First medlar.
There's a stone in there. What does it taste like? Is it a pleasant experience?
It's like a sour mouldy apple.
Yeah, I think the flavour's nice. I'm not convinced about the texture actually.
Wow.
Slimy texture.
You're enjoying it.
It's one of the best medlars I've ever had.
Wow.
It's a good variety, I think. Seneca.
I agree with you. The taste is okay. The texture is...
Anyone else going to try one? You're trying one.
I'm trying one.
Any good?
They've got a lot of little stones in.
Ah.
I know. They're tasty, but they're
Not quite so rotten.
a bit mushy.
They're good, aren't they?
Nice. Eating medlars. There you go.